Hi everybody, so I am on day 10 of the steroid taper since my 5-day IV, and things continue to go well. The last 2 days I took 7.5 milligrams of the prednisolone, and one day I took 25 milligrams of the diclofenac, and then the next day 75 milligrams of the diclofenac, and I'm doing that alternate days. Today was my first day of going down to 5 milligrams of the prednisolone, and it happened to be a 75 milligrams of diclofenac day, and that's with my normal 4.5 of the LDN. I've pretty much completely come off the pregabalin again, which is good. I don't like taking the pregabalin unless I really need to. I occasionally, if my back's a bit flared, will take a tablet, but I don't really like taking a lot of painkillers. And actually, when I started on the low dose naltrexone a few months after my summer IV, that did enable me to come up off the pregabalin. I can never quite be sure which drugs are most effective. For me, it's a combination of them all with the walk-in. I also take various other supplements, turmeric, calcium particularly to protect my bones because of the steroids and the risk of osteoporosis. I take vitamin D, magnesium, omega-3. I never really know. Who really knows which ones help and which one works? But like I say, I kind of add them into my whole kind of regime, also with the walk-in and kind of gentle stretching of my spine, kind of stretching up, and stretching my body up like that to try and stretch my lumbar spine. I also do squat a bit, but that can really flare my spine, so I only do it a bit to stretch it, but I have more mobility in my spine than I used to. But at the moment, this morning, again, I've been doing quite a lot of stuff on the laptop standing up. I then had a shower and washed my hair, which means a lot of kind of standing in one position, particularly because my hair takes quite a long time to dry. And then I've also been, messaging people on my phone, which I like to do, friends, and then people that I'm supporting that have spinal CSF leaks or arachnoiditis. That a lot of people ask me questions because I've kind of grown in a lot of wisdom and knowledge on these things over the past 6 years. But that's something that can really flare my neck and head. Actually, if I spend too much time kind of looking at my phone, I tend to hold my phone in front of me as much as possible, but even that, it tends to build up in my neck and in my lower back. So at the moment, my back is a bit flared. I need to go out for a walk really, but I wanted to do this video first. The pain it's a bit of a mild kind of stabbing pain. It's kind of a pin's pain. It's this kind of pulling pain that I've tried to describe before. It's a lot of stiffness in my back. It feels like, particularly in my lumbar spine, someone's pulling it, that it's stretched. And that's also from my neck as well. So from my neck feels like it's being stretched downwards, and from my lumbar spine it feels like it's being stretched up, that my spine is kind of tightened, which I guess would make sense if there's clumping and some adhesions, because it is, my spinal cord is somewhat kind of restricted and my nerves are somewhat restricted. But that's a very typical arachnoiditis sensation. If I bend like this, then I can just feel how stiff it is. But as much as I kind of try and stretch and move, that doesn't go away. It's been like that for, years and years and years. It got worse over the first year. I can actually remember when I had my 3rd epidural blood patch, I was sitting for it, and an obstetric anaesthetist, a wonderful obstetric anaesthetist, who's followed my case ever since, did the patch for me, and he had me sitting up, and I had to curl my spine, and there were 2 anaesthetists there, and I really struggled to curl my spine, and I said my spine is very, very stiff. I just can't curl it anymore, because they wanted me to kind of curl it a bit more to make more space. And it was actually that patch that the other anaesthetist pointed out that I have a mild scoliosis as well, which may well have been there since I was younger. I remember as a child in primary school, my sister and I used to have our spines checked because they were concerned about them, and that may well have been they were concerned about a slight scoliosis, but we were kind of discharged from that in the end. But also arachnoiditis and adhesive arachnoiditis can cause scoliosis or can make that worse. So I don't know how much of it was there before and how much of it maybe has come on since the arachnoiditis. Because I never had MRIs before I had my accident, and my first MRIs show the arachnoiditis. So that's where we're at today. I also wanted to say that last night my back was really flared, but that's quite normal for the evening. So by the evening, often that stabbing pain returns, the pins, pain in my legs, pins and needles and that crawling. That's a normal thing for me by the end of the day, but it's not as debilitating and it's not as constant as it was. Another thing that's a key thing for me is I get what I call buzzy feet or buzzy legs, and it just feels like my legs are kind of buzzing, kind of pulsating, buzzing. And that's quite a normal thing for me. That comes and goes in intensity. I have kind of times and seasons and weeks it's worse than others, and then it will retreat a bit again, but it's often always there. So that's a normal kind of thing for me. My sleep is still off. I'm still having to rely on the Zopiclone. So we will speak to the GP, I think, again next week about that. But it is better. I'm getting more sleep in all kind of around the use of the Zopiclone, but I really don't like to stay on the Zopiclone, as I say. And I always do come off it, but sometimes that takes a bit of time. But things are going well. I'm just about to go out for another walk because I can feel that pressure in my back, and my legs just at the moment from standing here are buzzing. So I'm going to go out for a walk, but I just wanted to update you on some of that. And thank you again for following my story, and feel free to ask me any questions. And feel free to use my case to educate other doctors. I will keep you updated and speak to you again soon. Bye for now.